Welcome to part 18 of the epistles of John. And it certainly has been a wild time in the world. And anyways, this is part 18 of the epistles of John. And this is May the 22nd, 2024 by man's calendar. I did attempt to do this one last night, but it didn't go too well. So the Lord said to rest and then get up in the morning and try again. So here I am. Pardon me, my throat has not woke up yet this morning. But that's okay. Lord knoweth. All things. How many people go out of their way for their families today? And try to take care of them. How many people honor their father and their mother? Have you heard how the children talk to their families today? I have. It's atrocious. I'm not even kidding about that. It's atrocious. But give me just a second here, and we're going to jump straight on back into the epistles. I don't think some of you like the conversations I have with you. Do you know why that is? Because I'm real. I'm real with what I say. And people hate that. Because it points out the truth. We want to be for the Lord as long as it suits us. We want to serve the Lord as long as it's comfortable for us. But the minute that we're out of our comfort zone, we're done. We're out the door. Whoop, done. Sorry, Jesus, I can't hang around. They're going to crucify him. They're going to crucify the true church again. They're going to persecute it. I don't got time for this. I got to be about the world's business. See, because I was talking to you, though, in the last part about not confusing because if it says in verse 21 of chapter 3 of the epistles of John, first epistle of John 1:3, verse 21 says, Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence toward God. But a lot of y'all be confusing the fact that your conscience is sheared with a hot iron with the lack of condemnation in your heart. Well, your heart ain't going to condemn you if you've sheared your conscience, because you don't have anything to guide you anymore. And let me tell you a little something here. Once you have done a thing so much and you've ignored God's voice each time you've done a thing, and it doesn't trouble you anymore, it doesn't make you cry, it doesn't break your heart, because every time that it did that, you ignored it, that means your conscience is now sheared. That's not the same thing as your heart not condemning you. Don't confuse the two. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. Is that describing you? Are you keeping his commandments? Are you certain? So you keep the Sabbath. You honor your mother and your father. You don't talk to them like crap. Treat everyone well with respect. You don't belittle anyone. You don't. See, because if you're keeping the first commandment and honoring God and putting him first, that's great. You sure you keeping that one? Let's start with that one first. Then we'll go down the list of others. Because you know why? You can't keep the second commandment at all if you don't keep that first. And if you can't keep those two, you certainly are not going to keep the rest of them. So let's look really heartily at the Great Commandment and the second Great Commandment. And the Great Commandment is to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, and soul, right? And in one place, I believe it says heart, mind, and strength. But how are you showing him that you love him when people could look at your life and they don't even see him? Can people look at you and tell that you are following Jesus by the way that you behave, by the way that you talk, by what you talk about? Is he the subject of your conversations? Then what's wrong with your conversations? If you love the Lord, you're not going to dress to draw attention to yourself and to steal glory from him. If you love the Lord, you're not going to try to be doing a thing that's going to cause a problem. You're not going to want to cause lust in other people. You're not going to want to cause people to fall from grace. That's what causing lust in them will do. You're not going to want to cause envy in other people, because that would cause them to fall from grace. How about that? And if you love them like Jesus did and does, you certainly would not want them to fall from grace, would you? So how are you keeping the first and second commandment of God? How are you keeping those? How are you looking after your brothers and sisters when you want to cause envy in them for the things that you have, or for how you are dressed and how you... I've seen this in different places. People that have a lot of material things like to lord them over other people, kind of like to show them off, or fancy things. I never did care for nothing like that myself, doing things like that. I was always grateful for what I got, just between me and the Lord. It just, yeah, some things people are going to notice on their own. That's one thing. But if you're out there shoving it out, showing it off, that's a complete another. If you're taking pride in your appearance to the point that you cause hurt, or you're trying to cause hurt in someone else because their appearance is not the same as yours, not as fancy, or I'm going to use this one for an example. If your hair, ladies, is big and long, and you're constantly trying to draw attention to that fact to try to make it look like you're so holy, and to say to someone else, my hair's this and yours is just that, to cause envy about your hair, you could certainly lose that hair. God could let it all fall out. You should not think you're better than someone else for any reason. Some people have lost their hair due to medical problems. Some people have a hard time growing their hair due to medical problems. Thing is, if you seek the Lord, your hair will grow. Lord knows if you truly wanted to. And He'll heal it, and He'll bring it through. I sought Him for it, so I know this. I praise God for Him touching my hair. I'll see you in the next part.